bit of a mad one. The f.
The first video tonight comes from The Journey is the Destination, a paranormal exploration channel focused on real-time ghost hunting in remote and unsettling locations, such as caves and abandoned areas. It is July 7th, 2024, in the United States. The investigator brings his friend Bill into a tight cave system, one he has only explored once before. They squeeze through narrow, low-ceiling passages, at times crouching, just to move forward. The cave opens into small chambers filled with dust, uneven ground, and limited space. As they move deeper, the environment becomes more uncomfortable. He explains that further tunnels extend beyond where they stand, some dropping deeper into the system, but they avoid pushing too far due to the risk.
Looks like somebody's been doing some like seances or rituals in here with all these candles.
Oh, really?
Look at all these things.
Slippery. Yeah, there's a lot.
And they're all the way around here.
While attempting to communicate using a flashlight and K2 meter, a faint noise breaks the silence. It comes from outside the chamber, subtle, but clear enough to stop them in place. They listen carefully, unsure whether it's environmental or something else moving within the cave system.
Could have been brought here. The other one, like I said, I think people have died falling in it. I think back in the day, people put dead bodies in it. I've gotten responses that have suggested that. And then also, there's a spot on the wall where I have gotten like really strong K2 readings, and they say that there's a portal there.
They attempt to provoke a response, asking questions, waiting for interaction, but nothing follows. The cave remains silent. If anything is there, it isn't responding. The investigation itself produces very little activity. Only brief, unexplained sounds interrupt long stretches of silence, leaving more questions than answers. But as they leave, the situation changes. A sudden storm hits. Heavy rain begins flooding the area, turning the terrain slippery and difficult to navigate. What started as a controlled exploration quickly becomes a race to get out safely. They retreat to their vehicle, soaked and struggling through worsening conditions. In the end, the night serves as a reminder that in places like this, it's not always what's inside that poses the greatest threat. Sometimes, it's the environment around you that turns without warning. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video so far, leaving a like really helps. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We recently passed 50,000 subscribers, and that's entirely because of you. The next target is 100,000 before the end of the year. Ambitious, but worth aiming for. There's a hidden word somewhere in this video. See if you can spot it. Now, let's continue. The next horrifying video comes from Broken Capital, a UK-based paranormal investigation channel focused on solo, high-risk explorations in haunted outdoor locations, known for real-time reactions, minimal dramatization, and the use of spirit communication tools to capture unexplained activity. It is January 7th, 2023, in ancient Woodland, near a locally infamous haunted mile, United Kingdom. The investigator arrives alone, just as darkness begins to settle over the woodland. The area feels immediately off, dense, quiet, and heavy with atmosphere. Crossing a small stream, he moves deeper into the forest and begins setting up his equipment. Almost immediately, loud bangs and rustling noises echo nearby. The sounds are sharp, sudden, and close enough to raise concern before the investigation has even properly begun.
And I'm looking for things. Whoa, that was massive. Okay, let's get a go session done.
Later, something shifts within the trees. A sudden heavy movement is detected just beyond view. His reaction is immediate, tense, and alert, highlighting how unpredictable the environment has become.
Hanged. There it is, hanged. This is hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I love you all so much, but I had to. Cursed, hanged, okay. We're getting somewhere now. Is there anything you'd like?
He begins using his spirit communication apps. Words and names start appearing. Shriek, hanged, unspeakable, Clarence, Marilyn. Each one adds to the weight of the location's history, giving the session a darker edge.
Marilyn. That was What in the fucking Christ was that? I was just packing up and something massive has just walked past. I heard the floor move. Well, I felt the floor move. What in the fuck? Oh, it's just a loud plane. Yeah, nah, f this, I'm getting scared now. That's crazy, what the fuck? What even is that? It's floating. What's that floating? I don't know, spiderweb maybe? Weird. It's floating, whatever it is.
The forest refuses to settle. Whispers, rustling, and subtle noises continue, building a constant sense that something is nearby, watching.
I can't see much when the light's on my face. I don't know. It's a bit of a mad one. The fuck? No. See you in a minute.
A loud noise erupts again, this time much closer. He immediately begins gathering his gear, recognizing that the situation may be escalating beyond control. Moments later, something large moves through the surrounding bushes. The disturbance is physical, strong enough to shake the vegetation, confirming that whatever is nearby is not small. As he prepares to leave, movement rushes through the trees. Whether animal or something else, it's fast and close enough to trigger a full decision to retreat. But even then, it doesn't stop. Childlike voices can be heard as he moves away. At that point, the decision is final. He leaves the woodland completely. The investigation builds steadily, from distant sounds to close, physical movement. What starts as uneasy quickly becomes overwhelming. Unexplained noises, direct responses through devices, and the presence of something moving nearby create a sustained sense of danger. By the end, it's not just fear driving him out. It's the accumulation of everything happening at once. Whatever was in the woods didn't stay at a distance, and for a solo investigation, that's where it becomes something else entirely. The next chilling video comes from 401 Files. a UK-based paranormal and cryptid exploration channel focused on immersive, real-time investigations in remote Woodland. Known for first-person footage, minimal dramatization, and documenting subtle, unexplained activity in isolated environments. It is December 1st, 2025, in a rural forest, United Kingdom. The host begins their trek through dense woodland with their dog, Lily. They move carefully through quiet clearings and across pebble banks, with only ambient forest sounds breaking the silence, rustling leaves, distant knocks. From the start, the atmosphere feels tense. The host pauses frequently, scanning the surroundings and quietly acknowledging the feeling that something may be nearby.
On trips without Lil, so she needs to suck it up. I'm gonna get camp set up. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna head off into the forest somewhere, get my tarp and everything set up so we've got somewhere to take shelter should it rain, because it's been on and off all day. I know it looks clear now, but what the hell is that? 1 second, let me get the phone out because this will not zoom. I don't know what that was. It didn't have a jet stream behind it, which caught my attention. Not all planes do, obviously, but yeah, I just thought I'd film that because...
Shadows begin to flicker at the edge of vision. The host reacts cautiously, noting how the silence between each disturbance feels just as unsettling as the sounds themselves. Each crack of a branch reinforces the impression that something is tracking them just out of sight.
The more I do this, the more confident she's going to get, so I might give her another Swedish meatball in a second, just for being such a good girl, but this is bliss, so relaxing. There's something about just being out on the water, not having to worry about anything, other than rapids obviously, but... Now if that was not a landscape in front of me that shouts cryptids, I don't know what is. Just looking at that ahead of me there, just, you know, it screams strange sighting.
As they pass through small clearings, the pattern continues. Unpredictable sounds, brief silences, then movement again. The host reflects on how isolation sharpens every sense, turning even minor disturbances into something far more intense.
And vice versa, I know that a lot of cryptid guys come over from Bigfoot channels and UFO extraterrestrial channels, but then they see me making a fire or building a shelter out in the wild and they're like, what is this about? Why is he not talking so much about the creepy stuff? So yeah, very unique niche, I guess, and I just hope that there's people out there like myself who find both equally interesting and find the blend of the two intriguing. Like, you know, I watch channels of people getting out into these areas, especially in like the Pacific Northwest and Canada, Alaska and other parts, you know, and they're talking about Bigfoot, and I just think, what better place to have that conversation? Look at where you're at. You know, you've got this beautiful backdrop of this snow-capped mountain with miles and miles of rugged landscape and deep forested areas. You know, what a perfect blend. And I always get suckered into those channels. And so that's me, right? That's what I do.
In the final stretch, the forest remains active, but never reveals anything. Subtle movement, distant noises, and fleeting shifts in the environment continue until the host decides to turn back. Nothing is seen, but the feeling remains. This is not a night defined by a single moment, but by persistence. No clear encounter, no visible figure, just continuous movement, sound, and the sense of something staying just out of reach. The forest never fully settles, and never fully reveals itself. By the end, the question isn't what was there, but whether it was ever meant to be seen at all. The next shocking video comes from Mandog Wild, a UK-based outdoor adventure and wild camping channel focused on real exploration, survival challenges, and remote wilderness experiences alongside their dogs. It is March 8, 2025, in remote mountain valleys, United Kingdom. The team moves carefully through uneven, tick-infested terrain as daylight begins to fade. They pause frequently, checking on the dogs, staying hydrated, and scanning the area. The valleys feel enclosed under the overcast sky, with visibility slowly dropping. As they continue, bones and scattered debris begin to appear along the ground, subtle details that shift the mood. The deeper they go, the more the environment feels off.
Someone's camp. That f***ing Yeti. Knowing Yeti, she's gonna go and f*** up their day. I don't know where Yeti is. I'm gonna walk this way. Get up. Get up. Hello? Anyone there?
As they explore further, it becomes clear the disturbance isn't isolated. The area of activity stretches beyond the campsite itself, suggesting the site has been used or altered more extensively than it first appeared.
Stopping chopping. Because when Yeti comes up to me, sits down, it's her saying, let's go. It's time to leave. It's time to leave.
Then, something changes. One of the dogs, DC, goes missing. It's unusual. She normally stays close. The timing makes it worse, with darkness approaching and the terrain becoming harder to navigate.
Yeti would have found them. So, which makes it even stranger, right? That there's a fire, but surely an abandoned tent. Tent's messed up. Strange.
The team begins to lose their bearings. Moving around the damaged campsite, the same landmarks seem to repeat. The shredded tent and fire remain fixed points, but everything else feels disorienting. With visibility dropping, they rely on their other dog, Yeti. Following his instincts, they begin navigating back through the valley, gradually finding their way toward safer ground. This isn't a moment defined by a single event, but by what was left behind. A campsite recently used, then abandoned. No explanation, no context, just signs of something happening and ending abruptly. Combined with the isolation, fading light, and the brief disappearance of one of their dogs, the experience takes on a different weight. Not paranormal, not confirmed, but enough to leave a question behind. What happened there before they arrived? The next video comes from Bigfoot RC, a UK-based overland and wilderness exploration channel focused on remote forest camping, wildlife tracking, and cryptid or big cat investigations. It is April 21st, 2024, at Fernworthy Forest, United Kingdom.
Hi Trail Drillers, Woodland Dave here. It's about 12:15, 12:15 on the first night. I was asleep, but just been woken up by a roar and a scream actually.
Overland Dave and the Trail Traders team set up camp deep within Fernworthy Forest, roughly 2 miles from a known big cat sighting area. The forest is dark and quiet, with only the crackle of a small fire breaking the silence. Earlier in the day, they had spotted a young deer and its mother, subtle signs that predators may already be active nearby.
No, there's evidence. We found that young deer dead this morning. So, you know, they need to hunt once a week for a big deer or whatever. So, yeah.
Then, without warning, he's woken by a roar, followed by a scream. Both sounds are close, far too close to ignore. He stays inside the tent, listening, fully aware that something large is moving somewhere in the darkness around him.
I think we'll go for a tree knock before we settle down, just see if we hear anything. We'll wait and see if we got a reply back.
Later, during nighttime exploration, Dave attempts to provoke a response using tree knocks. He scans for tracks, claw marks, and disturbances in the terrain. Nothing is seen directly, but the tension remains, with the constant awareness that something could still be nearby. The encounter never provides a clear visual, but the evidence builds. A roar in the night, a fresh kill, signs of strength in the environment. Each piece points to the same conclusion. Something large is moving through the forest, unseen, but active. And in a place like Fernworthy, that's enough to change how the night feels. Before we get into the next clip, around 70% of people watching aren't subscribed. We're working toward 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you're enjoying the video, hitting subscribe really does help. All right, let's get back to it. The last video of the night comes from Dub Wubs, an Australian-based paranormal investigation channel focused on immersive, real-time ghost hunting in reportedly haunted locations. Known for respectful investigations, spirit communication, and capturing unexplained activity using EMF devices and spirit boxes. It is February 22nd, 2026 at Rockingham Cemetery, Australia.
What's good at you very lovely people? It is Dub Wubs, and welcome back to another one of my amazing and fantastic videos. And today we are at Rockingham Cemetery. I'm going to do some ghost hunting. Now apparently there's been some pretty interesting activity here, so we're just waiting on paranormal talks, but I'll just wait for the... So on a bit of a busy road, we haven't gone in yet because we've got to do the it's hard to explain, but we're waiting for paranormal talks, and we have Strawberry here.
That's him.
And paranormal talks is here, so this should be good, guys. Let's get straight into the video. Alright, so we have good friend Paranormal Talks here.
Hello.
And oh, we've got the gear, oh, we got the camera. What is that?
It's just bugs in the trees.
I know, but what bug makes that noise?
Cicadas.
Cicadas?
Yeah. And they're like not dying.
They're all across the mountain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's like...
I never knew that, guys.
Spirits of Rockingham Pioneer Cemetery. You may remember me. My name is Caleb. Got some new friends tonight that are here to play. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
My name's Jasmine.
I'm Cameron.
Come through.
It's got like super windy.
Yeah, good hay.
Almost immediately, a shadowy figure is captured behind a tree. It's brief, but clear enough to shift the tone of the entire investigation.
You can come towards them if you're friendly.
We have a light here. Now we're gonna go walk down to this patio. Is it patio?
Pergola. Gazebo.
Gazebo?
Fix the Santa and we got toys, so we can pop down a couple of toys.
Still recording. If you want to put the...
A noticeable drop in temperature follows. The team senses a presence nearby, described as calm but watchful. The air feels heavier, as if something has moved closer without being seen.
What?
I swear I just saw a shadow just like run across there. I don't know if I'm tripping, but I think I just saw a fucking shadow just like fully run across there.
The fact that I didn't like my...
Then, another visual moment. A shadow moves quickly across the cemetery grounds, clear, but gone just as fast.
We're over here. You're a peaceful spirit. Come and join us.
And I want to say again, you are not welcome to touch me or follow me home at all.
Any of us. I can't wait to watch this back. There's so many different voices coming through the spirit box. I can't get what they're saying yet. Start talking. Baby. We get baby here every time. So the children's spirits here, we have some toys that you can come and play with. Show you that they're here. No, it can't. Okay. If we don't want the children's spirits to come and interact with us, that's okay. No, we're here with peace and positivity.
As the session continues, multiple voices come through the devices. Some are unclear, but others form direct responses. The communication feels active, yet controlled, matching the team's calm and respectful approach. From the beginning, the activity is immediate and consistent. Shadow figures, EMF spikes, temperature changes, and direct responses all point to something present within the cemetery. But unlike other encounters, the tone remains calm. There's no aggression, no escalation, just interaction. By the end, the investigation leaves a clear impression, not of something threatening, but of something aware, watching, listening, and choosing to respond. And that wraps up another dive into the unknown. If you're into spine-chilling footage and unexplained encounters, hit that subscribe button and stick around. We've got more coming, and it only gets weirder from here.